Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to All Things Division III Soccer with Simple Coach and Jackie. I am the unimportant one, Simple Coach, and that there is the important one, Jackie. She's a little spry today. So today we're just going to go straight into the Final Four for the NCAA Division III Women's Tournament. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the new show that came out this morning as of recording this. We covered the men. Just had some controversy, a little bit of Eminem. But I wanted to do the women as well because I do think the Final Four is a really interesting, and sort of I'm going to break it out. I'm just going to do team by team, sort of my predictions for the games, and we'll take it from there. So first up, let's just look at Cal Lutheran and Tufts, and let me start out by saying about Tufts. So there's a lot to like about this team. I will say that, especially when it comes to this tournament, they've shown some grit. I think they've probably had one of the toughest schedules in Division III, which goes a long way in the NCAAs, I think. And it makes you wonder, is this a charmed run, right? I'm not too sure, but, they went 3-2-2 in the month of October, 0-3-1 in their last 4 games of the season in the NESCAC tournament, where they got bounced out in the first round. They did, though, come into the NCAAs, and I didn't give them much of a chance. They go on to beat TC&J, Bowdoin, and University of Paywall. That's the University of Rochester, for those of you who don't know me by now. And they are relentless. They're relentless in attack. I think it's a Tufts thing. They just keep going and going, and they're not shy of getting forward. The issue I see with Tufts, they've shown themselves to be vulnerable defensively. I mean, they concede a goal a game, and usually at this level, what you're seeing is teams that concede maybe a goal every 2 games or somewhere in that average. But and for as many shots as they take, I'm not sure that they're wholly accurate on frame. Probably under 50% of their shots are off frame. So by statistical counts, I guess we say. But I do think they're going to come down to 2 players for Tufts that, in particular, Elsie Aries, sophomore forward. She's the leading scorer. She's got 14 goals and 4 assists, including against the University of Paywall, the game winner. So, and then the other player I think is going to be really important is Olivia Patz, the senior center back. She's the anchor of the defense, and I think she's, leads the team. So I think those are going to be 2 critical. And you'll notice when I say players to watch, I try to hone in on who I think is going to have the biggest impact. And I don't try to give you a laundry list of players. And that's not to say that other players won't contribute, but just from my watching, I think they're going to prove to be critical. Now let's take a look at Cal Lutheran. So 15-0-2 in the regular season. That's pretty remarkable. Their only loss was to Pomona Pitzer in the SCIAC championship. And then they turned around and beat him in the NCAAs. So this is a team that defensively, I think, gets it. They allow only a goal every 2 games, and they score almost 2 a game. So they have the offensive firepower and the defensive discipline. They are very organized defensively. And then what's interesting is that I looked at their goal scores, and they have a number. They have quite a few goal scores, right? Like they're not relying on any one player to deliver all the goals. They have it spread around. So which on the other hand, that could be a problem. They don't have an explosive goal scorer leading. It's going to is going to give you a goal a game. And I will say I don't know. I don't think it's a vulnerability, but they like to possess the ball. They like to hold on to the ball, and the question is, can they deal with the constant pressure in midfield that Tufts is going to squeeze on them? So. So the two players where I think are going to have to really step up is leading scorer, three-time All SCIAC grad student and forward Isabella Vajacek. Sorry. 9 goals, 4 assists. She may have to step into the breach and show what she's worth to the team success. So, and then another one I really like, Avery West. She's a junior, SCIAC Defender of the Year, and all-region player, and she basically anchors the back line. And I know it sounds kind of corny to pick one forward and one defender on both teams, but it really is going to be that. Because I think it could end up being end-to-end, right? I think it could be Tufts on the attack, Cal Lutheran defending, and then very quickly switching, right? So... and I think the game itself is going to be a defensive battle. I'm going to expect, say, a low, no-scoring game. But if I'm going to pick a team I like, I'm going to go with Cal Lutheran because I think they're better defensively. Their defensive posture and team discipline, I think, is very, very good. And then, like I said before, which I think is going to be critical, they have, on and off the bench, they have players who can score goals. So I think that's going to matter. All right, so we got Cal Lutheran on that one. So next up, let's talk a little bit about, and the prediction on the score, Cal Lutheran 1, Tufts 0. That was such a chicken score, though, right? Like, come on. I would expect more. Maybe the next one. All right, so the other semifinal is Messiah WashU. If you haven't watched Messiah, they're as special, I think, on the women's side as they are on the men's side. They have it on both sides of the ball. They can score goals, and they can defend very well. They average about 3 goals a game scoring, and they allow less than half a goal a game. So maybe a goal every 3 games. It's pretty remarkable. They have multiple goal-scoring threats. Hannah Adair, Brittany Laird, Julia Martin, and Christina Axelson. They can turn it and put the ball in the back of the net. So if you think you can cover 1 or 2, you've still got 3 and 4 over there that can make it happen. I'm not sure vulnerabilities, but if they can be scored on early, the question is, and the longer they can't score, does their frustration increase? I'm not sure that is the case because they have the multiple weapons, but I think that would be interesting. I think they're susceptible to being countered, kind of like the men, where they like to press forward and they like to get goals, which is admirable. But if WashU can catch them in an interesting spot, can they break through? And then the last thing is, can they break a tight defensive unit? And that they're going to see, I think, in WashU. They're not good. Nothing should be taken for granted there. And I mentioned some of the key players, but the two that are going to matter: Hannah Adair, sophomore, 12 goals, 4 assists, including the game winner against John Carroll. And then I think she's the engine for me, and you watch her, and she's the key piece to making things flow. Christine Axelson, junior midfielder from Wall, New Jersey, which I will not hold it against her. 7 goals, 4 assists. I think those two are going to make, the going to make where it matters. And then finally, let's a little bit about Wash U. They're a defensive beast. They're very strong defensively. They went 15-0. They won 15 games in a row without conceding a goal. And that's until they paid the University of Rochester, for those of you who don't know me, in a 2-1 loss. In the entire season, they've only conceded 7 goals. Four of which were against Wisconsin lacrosse in a 4-4, battle at the OK Corral type game. They scored just under 3 goals a game, so they match Messiah in the goal production and are better defensively. I think their midfield is one of the best in the country. Dynamic. They transition to attack very quickly. They're not afraid to go for goal. And their two of their leading goal scorers, play in the middle, or at least drop into the middle, right? I'm not sure that they're vulnerable, to be quite honest. Are they ready for this rarefied air? Right? Are they ready to compete on this stage? I would argue that I thought they would have taken care of Wisconsin lacrosse a little bit better than going 4-4 shootout or a 4-4 draw before they won on PKs, and they were at home, so maybe they needed that. I don't know. They're going to rely on a couple of players, I think, that are going to be critical. Senior goalkeeper Sydney Connor, all UAA, and UAA sophomore rookie of the year a couple of years ago. This might be obvious, but I think she's going to get peppered. I think Messiah is really. I think the trick is going to be how do you keep for Wash U, how do you keep Messiah off the scoreboard in their constant attacks? And I think you're going to need a really good performance from your goalkeeper. And then I'm again a defensive-minded player, Galen Clayton, midfielder, junior. I think they could score goals, right? The key is going to be preventing Messiah from scoring goals. I think that's where it's going to come down to. I know that sounds trite. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's trite. Is that a right word? I don't know. But I think they have to lock it down pretty seriously and frustrate Messiah's efforts to get to goal. Let him shoot from long range, that sort of thing. And then hope that your goalkeeper, Sydney Connor, is able to make those saves where needed. So, like I mentioned, they're going to have to frustrate Messiah in the final third. Like I said, they definitely have the scoring power. But when all push comes to shove, I think this is Wash U's year. I do. I think they have what it takes defensively to deal with Messiah and then be very opportunistic going forward. I think they might not have. I'm actually thinking they might not have as many chances. Watch, it'll be a complete gunslinger of a game. they might not have as many chances, but they will be opportunistic and take advantage of those chances that they have. My prediction is WashU 3, Messiah 1. Leaving that, the final being Cal Lutheran versus WashU, which I think will be interesting. And I'm going to try to do a video summarizing my view on that game, or the actual game that comes, that happens. Yeah. But if it is WashU Cal Lutheran, I'm putting all my chits on WashU to win the national title. So, if you have other thoughts, by all means, down below, feel free to leave your comments. I by no means am an expert in choosing winners of games. Just ask the boards about my weekly game picks. I am not. I seem to choose the wrong side. So what I chose is a Cal Lutheran WashU final. It will probably be Tufts versus Messiah. Just the way my picks generally go. Hope you enjoy the semis, which are tomorrow, the 30th, I believe, for the ladies, and then the first for. Yeah, I can't remember which ones. Hang on. I can tell you right now. I always forget the dates because they staggered them, right? Game calendar. Check out d3soccer.fans for the game calendar. So tomorrow, the 30th at 3, we have Cal Lutheran versus Tufts. And then 6:30, we have Messiah versus WashU. And the final is at noon on the 2nd, which is Saturday. So with that, I shall leave you. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful semifinal set of games. To the ladies who are going to be out there, and the coaches and the trainers, and then everybody, the bus drivers, all the best. Enjoy it, because it is rarefied air. Not a lot of people get to where you're at, so enjoy the moment. And I'll see you in a couple days once the dust settles on the semis.